You look fantastic.
Do I? I feel really rough.
I feel like you wore the right clothes today, by the way.
Do you?
Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm glad you didn't have green on. We're doing some kind of like, I can't tell you what it's about, but we're doing something on a green screen today.
Yes. I love it when we film videos after we've been up since 3. That's cool.
So you can't wear green when you're in front of a green screen, or you don't show up because the green eats your color, eats you alive.
That'd be hilarious.
We got an email from our boss, and I thought it was interesting because he just assumed we knew not to wear green. Because he got an email that says, hey, by the way, we're going to do this video tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be in front of the green screen. And I think he said wear something nice, something like that. But he didn't put the keywords in there. Don't wear anything green.
I think we're seasoned pros by now.
Well, I'm just saying we are seasoned pros, but when you tell someone that, you should just probably remind them.
Right, remind them. And remember.
Because honestly, when's the last time you did something in front of a green screen?
Yeah.
I mean, you may be a seasoned pro, but when's the last time? I couldn't tell you the last time I stood in front of a green screen. So it's always helpful. It's always helpful to do that.
Always helpful. That'd be hilarious.
So Amanda's going for all black, so she won't screw that up.
Yes, I will not.
Cynthia's here this morning. Good morning, Cynthia Scott. Vicky's here. Rob is watching from. Are you still in Florida, Rob? Is that where you still are?
Hey, Rob or Mike Holberg is usually in Florida watching. If you are thinking about moving close to home, there's a town in Greensburg, Indiana, so it's about 60 miles west of Cincinnati. They are recruiting people, like remote workers, to come live there.
We don't want you back, Mike.
Yeah, this is really cool. So they're offering like $5,000. They're offering like zoo passes and tickets to shows, free grandparents for those who move there with children.
That's pretty cool.
Because they're just trying to increase their population. They say, we have plenty of industry. We don't need businesses to move here. We just need maybe remote workers to live here.
Well, that's been the big thing all across the country. Well,
I think Maine or somebody did that.
Rob's still in Florida. A lot of cities have done that all across the country. But, you know, they offer like a big chunk of money. You know, kind of like when we were in Barbados, they were offering, was it $200,000 to move?
I get to live for a year. You could work remotely for a year in Barbados.
So that's what a lot of cities across the country are doing.
Should have done that.
You move here for a year, boom. Yeah. So I'm kind of intrigued that they're not offering a lot of money at this Indiana town. They're just offering like some perks. I'm like, well, where's the money, man?
$5,000.
To get my family and move, I want a bigger perk than that. Because a lot of places are offering, it's like
free grandparents.
A lot of money.
Free grandparents.
They need to up it a little bit.
It's Greensburg, Indiana.
Well, a lot of these places, you're like, I mean, if I said Tulsa, Oklahoma, people would be like, Tulsa, Oklahoma.
We had a coworker that just got up and moved to Maine. I wonder if he took that deal.
Good to have.
He took a bribe.
Oh, Chris moved. Patty's
moved.
here, Linda's here. All right, gang, this is what y'all want to know. Don't answer the phone because my buddy Rob might be calling you. You don't want to do that. No, this is crazy. There was some people who are hiking, and they're out in the wilderness. And usually when you go hiking in the wilderness, it's smart to tell people you're going. And a lot of trailheads you go to, there's actually a sign in at the front of the trailhead. You say, here's where I'm going. This is the trail I'm doing. This is how many people I have with me. This is the time that I'm leaving. And in the nighttime, the ranger will usually drive by, and you're supposed to cross your name off, too.
Oh, okay.
Right, when you get back, so they know you're out there. That way they know everyone's gone.
Oh, right, everybody came back, yes.
That's a smart thing. Those are usually...
Leave no man behind, or hiker, or dog.
And these aren't like the trails like at John Bryant Park or something like that, or one of the ones around Cincinnati, but you go to bigger, longer trails. You know, down in Red River Gorge, you'll find stuff like that. So these people went hiking, and they told their friends that they were going, and they didn't show up when they were supposed to. And the friends like, uh-oh, we're worried. So they reported them missing.
Okay.
So the cops go, and they start, the park rangers and everything, they start searching for these people, and they can't find them. They even called them. They're like, well, let's call them. And no answer. Meanwhile, these people are out hiking. They knew they were lost, but they weren't panicked. They were fine. We're lost. We got everything we need.
I'd be panicked.
So
they were lost.
I mean, they might have been a little, but they were fine. They were cool with it. And their phone rang. They didn't answer the phone. And the next day, 24 hours later, they figured out where they were and how to get back. They made it through the night, and they came back, not realizing anybody had been worried about them. They hadn't thought. And they're like, well, we called you. Yeah, our phone rang, but it was an unidentifiable number. We thought it was a spam call, so we didn't want to answer it. But we were calling to rescue you. Well, we were fine. We thought it was a spam call.
How annoying.
So and so often when you're in the wilderness, you can't even get a phone call. I mean, there's we tell Tracy, we tell our family, Tracy and I'll tell our family when we go down to Red River Gorge, all right, we're pretty much going to be out of cell service beginning 5, 4, 3, 2.
Right.
And they can't get a hold of us.
But to get a call, they could GPS that bad boy, couldn't they? Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Beats me.
Yeah.
But they kept ringing. Like, I know it kept ringing, but we didn't know the number, so we didn't want a spam call. We were busy trying to figure out where we were.
It reminds me when I was pregnant with Athena, and 9/11 had just happened.
Yeah.
And I went into early labor because she was supposed to be born in November. She was eventually born in November, but right after 9/11, I went into early labor because I was so stressed out. And back in the days, we didn't have we didn't have cell phones per se that we carried
Right.
everywhere. My husband had a beeper, and my producer drove me up to Christ Hospital. They're trying to stop my labor contractions, and they're whatever, beeping him, whatever
Beep,
on his
beep, beep,
on his
beep.
beeper. And
911,
he
911.
doesn't respond to it all day long.
No.
All day long. Other people came to see me. I don't even know if he took me. He didn't even take me home because he didn't respond to the text from Christ Hospital. Later that day, when I'm finally home and I'm okay, I'm like, "Where were you all day?" He goes, "Didn't your beeper work?" He's like, "Yeah, but I didn't know anybody at Christ Hospital." I'm like,
So why answer?
I'm 7 months pregnant.
You were 7. You weren't 9 months pregnant.
I know.
You were fine.
I know. There was an emergency. The likelihood that the hospital might be calling for me on my behalf, because that's why we got it, was probably very high. You didn't answer. Because he didn't know anybody
I don't
there.
know anybody at Christ Hospital. Smart man, your husband. Smart man.
Not hiking with him, I'll tell you that.
No, you have gone hiking. You got lost too.
Yes, we did.
Gloria, good morning, Gloria. Who else we got here? Haven't said hi to. Debbie. Haven't said hi to Debbie. Missy's here. Good morning, Missy. We said hi to Cynthia and Scott and Vicky. So here's a name that you probably don't know, Doreen Lofthouse. But you know what Doreen does or did.
Does she
'cause
bake?
She just passed away. No, she made throat lozenges. Remember the Fisherman's Friend throat lozenges? You ever see those?
Are they like a honey thing?
They're some kind of menthol, I think, is
yeah,
what they are.
the Fisherman's Friend.
Fisherman's
reminds me
Friend.
of something, yeah.
I mean, I've never used Fisherman's Friends, but I'm highly familiar with the name. She died. But
She died.
she died. She's dead.
so happy.
She died. Don't send her a
She died.
Christmas card. But Fisherman's Friend, it's around the world. But it started out, it's like 100 years old, this company.
She died very rich.
Yeah, oh, yes, she did buy very rich because since she took this throat lozenger, which was really just a local throat lozenger, like a
local cure.
like a home remedy in that town kind of thing. Only people in that town knew it. And she came along and she's like, you know what? We need to make some more money. We can. This thing really works.
She's so smart.
She took it worldwide. She just kicked the bucket. But they made so much money worldwide, she donated $56 million to her hometown.
Oh, God love her. She loved her town.
Isn't that cool? Can you imagine you're like the
Yes.
city father and you're like, or mother, and you're like, we just got a note here. Oh, Doreen's dead. That's, $56 million. All of a sudden, all the things you could be building.
Oh my gosh. A small town like that, I bet half those people were her family.
Oh, they probably
You know
were.
what? Yeah.
They said they loved her. It was one of those things.
I bet they'd offer more than $5,000 a person to move
They
there.
probably would. Making the Fisherman's Friend throat lozengers. I wonder if it smells good in the factory.
amazing.
I wonder if you ever walk in the factory
Oh.
and
But
it's just
nobody ever has congestion.
it's like when you're eating a York peppermint patty and you breathe in and you get that cool,
It's all
refreshing
menthol. You see birds dropping dead outside the factory. They got that double lung system that would probably kill them if they had that much menthol.
It's burning in there. It's dying.
They cleared the life right out of me.
Don't
my
ask
gosh.
Paul McCartney for autographs. He's done with them.
Yeah,
you
he
hear
says
that?
everybody knows who I am. I don't
Yeah.
need to sign another thing ever again.
And besides, he says, when you take pictures with me, I don't look good. I'm like, well, I don't look good. Why are you taking a picture of me? I don't look good.
He's kind of going the way of Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks doesn't like to do the big mass cattle calls of autographs and pictures. He likes to just sit down with 4 or 5 people who come backstage to meet him and talk for 30 minutes before his show. Really just have a really good discussion.
Here's my problem with it. I understand that because, you're an artist. You'll never see these people signing a piece of paper, whatever. They're going to make money off of your name and all that stuff, probably if they sell it. But you want to sit down with 4 or 5 people. That's fine. But those 4 or 5 people who get backstage are probably these people who have spent money on something to get back there. There's less.
It's America, baby.
There's less of the average Joe who might get to go back. Now, to go backstage, it's still hard anyways. For when a lot of people go backstage. But when you all of a sudden cut it back, it's like you're all of a sudden saying, you know what? I don't want to talk to the rest of you. I mean, I understand you've been around for a long time. I got it, but I don't want to talk to the rest of you.
Yeah, but
I
you don't
just wanna
really
sit
talk
down.
of those cattle calls anyway.
But they don't care.
Yes.
But if you're a fan of John Bon Jovi, right, and you have a chance to go up and be next to John Bon Jovi for 45 seconds, and you're like, you either have 45 seconds, you don't get to go out, Amanda. That's your choice, because otherwise we'll take 4 people, and you're not going to be one of them, to go sit and talk to him for 30 minutes, or you get 45 seconds. Would you say, I don't want it at all, or I'm going to stand next to him for 45 seconds? Because you're not getting the... You would take the 45
I would say
seconds.
after 35, 40 years in the business, it's now about
No,
the
you're not the
artist and what
business.
the artist wants to do.
But you're not the business. It's not the business. You are an average
Are
person.
you angry?
No, I'm just saying you can't look at it as you're in the business for all that time.
Well, it's Garth Brooks and Paul McCartney, so those are the two that are like, this is how we're doing it now.
But I understand that. But I still don't think that's cool for the fans.
Right.
I mean, you can do
It's
it.
cool for the fans. I don't know that it's like pay to see me. I think Garth doesn't strike me as a person that would be like, you didn't pay money to see me.
Well, no.
He's like a people's. And you got 2 hours out there, maybe 3 hours out there with them.
But all of a sudden, people who have just longed to meet you don't have that chance to come back and to see you. Because if you've never been backstage, and most people haven't been backstage, you go back and most artists are standing over there, and then there's a line, and you can see them the whole time, most times. And then someone goes up and puts their arm next to him, you take a picture, and
Unless
you
you're
say
Travis
hi.
Tritt, he makes you do a zigzag thing through a maze.
Right, but a lot of times you get to see him, so you get that moment, that time you've always wanted, and you get your 10, 15 seconds with him, and people will talk about that forever. And now you're saying, sorry, you don't get to do that. I don't know.
I just think there's so many ways these days to get that touch moment with artists. I mean,
How?
there's so many ways.
That actual touch moment,
well,
not
you
just
know,
a video.
Yeah, but they arrange so many like special so-and-so. Garth Brooks surprised people at their wedding, or Paul McCartney's always surprising people everywhere he goes. I mean, I don't know. At a certain point, I say let the artists do what they want. It's their business
they can.
if they want to or not.
Oh, no.
And
And
if they lose fans because of it, that's their business.
No,
after
and I
40
understand that
years.
completely. Like I said, I'm not. It's not that they shouldn't do it, but I'm just like you are cutting off a huge group of people who would give anything just to be next to you, and it's useless, in my opinion, to stand next to someone who you just heard on the radio. It's kind of useless, in my opinion. But people will give anything to have that 10 seconds, and all of a sudden you're like, no one gets to do it, because I find it more exciting to talk to 4 people.
I'd say it's the prerogative. I wouldn't say for a new artist, I wouldn't recommend it, but an older artist has been there, done that a million.
Well, Paul
billion,
McCartney
billion.
shouldn't even be meeting people. Let's
Yeah,
be fair.
yeah,
Let's be
yeah.
honest.
And during a pandemic, I'd say let's protect Paul McCartney.
Yeah.
Let's protect him,
Right.
like Betty White, almost like Betty White.
Not quite the national treasure because he's English.
Well, he's not our national treasure, but he's our worldwide treasure. He's Paul McCartney. It's Paul McCartney.
All right, we got to roll, gang. You have a fantastic day. Did we get a hi to everyone out here? I think so. Oh, some more people. Carol, Stephanie.
We'll be reading the
Rhonda's
comments later
here.
too, because
Lori.
it's hard for us to see the comments.
Mary Beth, hi. Mary James.
Mary James,
Christopher's
Christopher.
here. So hello, everybody. Thank you.
I got to go around.
Anne's got to go. She's running the equipment. How about that? How about them apples? All right, y'all be good. Take care. We have another national keyword. We'll get to you here.
Like 6 minutes.
Like from the time you're watching this right now, if it's live, yeah, it's about
well,
6,
maybe
about 6, 7 minutes. If you're not watching this live, you're out of luck. You missed it. So
8:06.
every hour throughout the day today, be listening. All right, see y'all. Be good.